Hey guys, George here. Today what I'd like to do is bring to you a video about the top 5 reasons why I love Advanced Squad Leader. Now, might be a little unusual of a video. There won't be any rolling and counters and unboxing or an AAR, but not all of those videos have to be about those topics. As a matter of fact, to be quite frank with you, I'm a little bit fed up with unboxing videos. Now, they do serve a valuable purpose. If you're interested in buying the module and you want us to see a good preview of it, by all means, watch one of these unboxing videos. I do as well. However, that's not the thing that turns me on in terms of doing a reveal and unboxing and whatnot. Not my cup of tea. I'd rather tell people stories. I'm more of a storyteller. In any case, let's go on with my top 5 reasons why I like Advanced Squad. And I'm going to go in ascending order. So, reason number 5. Well, it's a history of World War II. And believe it or not, I was introduced to the history of World War II by both of my parents. So, during the Second World War, uh, my mother um, was out in the fields close to a beach on her island. They have even gardens on the slopes of hills, little gardens that actually feed entire families for the entire year with different crops, tomatoes, and even dandelion. They even eat dandelion. Uh, and that's where she was first introduced to the invading Germans. They came around the valley where they were working, slaughtered a cow, and that was the first person. That was the first time she saw somebody eat a meat from a cow, medium rare. Because Greeks around that area, typically what they do is eat their meat well done, no matter what meat it is. Anywho, my dad on the other hand, was saw the more bitter side of the war. We had one family member executed, murdered during the Second World War. Although he was a civilian, he got caught um, pillaging a German observation airplane. Oh well. And he also worked at the airport on his island um, as a civilian for the Italians, because the Italians were governing the island at that time. So almost got decapitated by a Spitfire. So I heard all sorts of stories about World War II, and of course it was taught in history class. And for English, my first essay was on my first 1,200 word essay was on the Battle of Stalingrad. And at that time, the documentation in our library was very skimpy compared to what is available now. Um, so the theme always interested me. And later on, when I went to university, I took uh, a full 2-semester course on the history of World War II. And I was introduced to Squad Leader in around 1979, 1980. I bought the classic game, which was, if you could see my cursor, this one up here. Probably you can't see my cursor. Let me put a counter close to where that um, game is depicted on my board. So I'll pick a Allied sniper and put him here. Right there. That's this first game that I bought, right? Alongside with this one. And it was actually secondhand. And it was mixed with, some of the counters were mixed with this game right here, Crescendo of Doom. That's GI Anvil of Victory. I never owned this one and that one. And let's put that counter a little bit higher. Put him back up here. Yeah. And then only recently did I go on to Advanced Squad Leader, which is this thing, thanks to Alain Chabon. And I started with starter kit and very quickly went into ASL. Bought the rule book, the compact rule book, and my collection has remained very minimalist until up until now. Rule number, uh, reason number 4. Well, it's the range of weapons, my dear lord. The range of weapons. Just taking out the counter sheet and uh, looking at the Russian counters. Okay, let me put this a little bit more towards here. So you have different types of squads, all the way from elites to conscripts and half squads and crews with different attributes. You have single man counters, various support weapons ranging from mortars and machine guns to light anti-tank weapons. Look, you even have a Russian buggy here. And then there's the white. The white represents different other types of arms, including cavalry. Okay, different types of ordnance from mortars to AA guns. And AA guns, I was first introduced to these AA guns back in at the COI level, Cross of Iron level. See, I'm already getting excited just looking at the counters for crying out loud. Let's go back to guns. Infantry guns, artillery, AT guns, okay? Vehicles, everything from tankettes to medium T-34s. Let's go to medium. T-34s, M40, M41. The detail in modeling these things is incredible. And they've done it from statistics and studies that actually presented different statistics on penetration or different specs. So if you have a Pac 45 or what have you, and it's been documented in different studies that this round has the ability to penetrate so many millimeters of armor at that range. Has all have been all built into Squad Leader. No other game does that I found. I mean, with other games, you gotta have a certain amount of counters with a certain type of generic uh, armored fighting vehicle that has an arbitrary amount of penetration and armor and what have you. But this is kind of historical, and a study has shown that it's accurate except for 2 armored fighting vehicles. Now, given the plethora of vehicle types here, being accurate up to uh, and excluding only 2 is great. So, also air. So you have parachutists, airborne invasions, and I believe you also have um, fighter bombers, Sturmovik, all excellent stuff. So the range and counters that are involved. Which leads me to the next point, point number 3, the historical accuracy of scenario cards. Now, are they historically accurate? Perhaps, maybe not all of them are historically accurate, but being accurate is one thing and being precise is another. Nobody is precise when it comes to the history of any war. But when you look at a scenario card and you got yourself a context of what the how the battle took place, where it unfolded, the date, and the aftermath. And I always read the aftermath. And a few viewers have already said that I'm one of the few people that pay attention to the aftermath. This is pretty interesting. So the German formations, decimated and exhausted by 5 days of incessant fighting, attacked doggedly, but I may have massacred that word, but didn't have the strength to seize or hold the hill. Indeed, the panzer grenadiers were soon on the defensive as continuous counterattacks forced the commander to employ their last reserves merely to hold their positions. Which scenario is this again? That's the elephant. Hill 253.5. Yeah, I've played this scenario before at the COI level, and I'm wondering why I didn't play it at the ASL level. ASL scenario 132. I even have it still in Ziploc or the um, plastic covering. As you can see here, the little dots here, that's my plastic cover. So, scenario cards, historical context, well written scenario cards that um, actually add to the immersive experience of playing the game. Okay. Number two, combat mechanics make sense. Statistically, okay? What do I mean by that? All right, let's go back to Vassal and pull out one of these combat resolution cards, or the, I don't know what you call them. Let's see. Uh, Here, there they are. So, what I'm alluding to is that this infantry combat table makes a lot of sense compared to other games. That's what I find. Okay, once you know how to use this, you kind of um, get the hang of why the game kind of makes sense. And as you can see here, what you have is a table where, depending on the amount of firepower, all right, you get a certain outcome, provided you roll, roll low. That always cracks me up. Now, with your average, statistically speaking, on a 12D, a 2D6, the average roll is going to be 7. And what you have here is, across the board, anything between no effect whatsoever, because we're dealing with squad versus squad, or half squad versus half squad, or something involving more than a single unit going after a single unit. It's a group of men. So you can have anything from a nil result, a pentast check, and then worst case scenario PTC to a K4, depending on whether you're the defender or the attacker. And of course, a PTC is the best case scenario, or no effect is the best case scenario if you are on the defense. But with an average roll, basically what you can hope for is a morale check. Now, when I was doing the history of World War II with Professor Vogel back in my guild days, he told us statistically that you're more likely to get wiped out by artillery fire than bullets. And more or less, this system models that to a T. Here we have the ordnance to hit table. This too kind of makes sense. Concealment, Neil's charts, which I kind of like. Um, he also has a different table for the secondary effects of fire. It's not this one. He has the IFT, terrain, phase, velocity, about. Let's see, can we find it? Uh, don't know. So combat mechanics. And what do I like about Advanced Squadron the most? I actually like the rulebook. Now, I've shown you the rulebook before in um, my video about the electronic rulebook, and it's pretty interesting. And the basic mechanics of that is, first and foremost, you have a glossary right in the front. Okay, you have footnotes that explain the purpose of the rule. Most people don't even read the rule, um, the footnotes, but I do to the best of my ability. Um, Very hard to remember everything, but at least you have a way of quickly referencing um, the rule you want to look up through the index and glossary. So if your memory ever fails you, and typically it does. I mean, most war games have. Let's face it, they're not for everybody, and they have typically at least 15 pages of rules and fine print on 2 columns. So in this case, you do have a glossary. You don't have to go very far to go looking for a rule. And the second part of that is that there's a large community of people that support uh, for for supporting that. There's a Q&A readily available on the internet. There's Game Squad, a Discord server, and there's also a couple of Facebook pages that are filled with people readily able to assist you with any rule interpretations. Have I played Have I played the game wrong? At times, yes. Have I been able to find a resolution to um, to my questions or to my doubts? And the answer to that as well is yes. Have there been rules that are contradictory or interpretations that have been contradictory? Yes. Have I been able to compile a video about them? No. No, I wish I could because I've encountered at least now, I would say 2 or 3 instances where the interpretation of a rule was either contradictory or didn't make sense, or another item where people have been playing it wrong for ages, and then only recently have I found out that what we were doing in the past was wrong. But again, that's also part of the rules. It's the fog of war. That's how the fog of war is modeled in Squad Leader under Rule Alpha.2, which basically states more or less, if you make a mistake past the point of no return, carry on as is. And that is, if you read the footnote to that rule, um, that is supposed to depict the fact that not all commanders were knowledgeable. So if the other fellow pulls a fast one on you, que sera, sera. And for honorary mention, the other reason why I like my advanced squad leader is because of my opponents. I'll try and name them on a first name basis. Monty Sunday night, um, Dino Limosani. Well, there goes the first name basis for Monday. Alain, who I play tonight, Tuesdays. Wednesday, Ken Rutkowski. Thursday is Mark. And Friday is Dennis. Now, I had a little bit of difficulty there because those two I tend to interchange interchangeably, and at one point or another when we were playing in three player games, we typically got each other's names wrong. Part of the game. Part of the game. Anywho, that is my video for tonight. I hope you enjoyed this short discussion. Only 19 minutes long, and it's already lasted longer than I anticipated it would last. And that's all I really have to say. Now, you might not know this, but if you watch this video, I will have a video this Saturday morning around 8 or 9 o'clock about Starter Kit. And it's going to be a Starter Kit scenario. And I'm playing a particular game, I think scenario S22 solo. I'm also playing it with Monty, but the object of the game here is not to, um, uh, advertise my wins and defeats. It's more or less knowledge and sharing my hobby with you. With that said, guys, I bid you good night and or a good morning, depending on when you see this video. And have a great and safe week ahead. Thanks for watching. Like and subscribe. And do tell your friends about this channel because YouTube won't. Take care and good night.